All right. Hello, everybody. This will be lesson number 6 on factoring. So we're going to talk about some special products of factoring and certain cases that happen. So this first lesson, you've probably seen it before, but just to refresh your memory, let's say, for example, we have this example. If we have x plus 7 and x minus 7. Let's see, if we do FOIL, what happens? We have x, whoops, my god, what am I doing? X times x is what? Is x squared, right? X times minus 7 is minus 7x. 7 times x is plus 7x, and 7 times minus 7 is minus 49. And what do we get when we combine the terms? We get x squared. The negative 7x and the positive 7x cancel out, so we just get minus 49, right? What will happen here? Let's say we do FOIL again, remember? FOIL. Right? 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times minus 4y is minus 12xy. And 4y times 3x is plus 12xy. And 4y times minus 4y is negative 16y squared. And that will equal what? Remember, the two middle terms cancel out, so you just have 9x squared minus that 16y squared. Okay? And if you should be seeing a pattern here. Look how the middle terms cancel out when you have a plus minus, and it's the same values. You see here you have an x and an x, they're the same. Here you have a 3x and a 3x, they're the same. Here you have a 7 and a 7, they're the same. And here you have a 4y and a 4y, and they're the same. And when you have that plus minus, it'll always be, well, let's see. This identity should be very familiar, but this identity will be a squared minus b squared, right? If you just want to see what will happen if you do the FOIL, a times a is what? A squared. A times minus b is minus ab. B times a is plus ba, but also plus ab, and that's minus b squared. So these two, that a minus ab and that ab cancel out, so you just have that a squared minus b squared. This was one of our identities that we did in the beginning of the year, right? So instead of multiplying using the FOIL, once we see this, just if you want to see some more examples just so you get the feel of it, I don't know, if you have, like, let's say some 3x plus 6y times 3x minus 6y, what will happen here? You just have, you're doing 3x times 3x, and that's 9x squared. And following that pattern, it's going to be a minus, and it's 6y times 6y, it's 36y squared. I don't even need to do the FOIL, right? Because I know the middle term will cancel out, okay? So game plan is, this way we were going forwards, and now here, let's go backwards. For example, if we have x squared minus 16, what are the two binomials that we need that will give us x squared minus 16, right? It'll be what? It'll be x minus 4, x plus 4, okay? What about this one? Here. Why don't you take a second and try and think about it. Pause the video. Here. Pause the video and try and figure out these two. What would be the two binomials that give us this? Let's say you are coming back to the video. You want to see the solution. Well, here, what will give me 9a squared? What two numbers? It'll just be 3a and 3a. And what will give me 25b? It'll just be 5b and 5b. And remember, it's always a plus minus. So here it's just a plus and a minus, and that's all you need. And what about this one? Let's say if you have a 49x to the fourth, what will give me 49x to the fourth if I square it? It'll be a 7x squared and a 7x squared, right? Because 7 times 7 is 49. X squared times x squared is x to the fourth. And what about here? This should be a 8y cubed. 8y cubed. And this should be an 8y cubed. And a plus and a minus. And if you're thinking, why is it 8y cubed? Well, let's see. 8 times 8 is 64. And what is y cubed times y cubed? Well, that is y to the 6. And that gives us what we want over here. Okay. So what would be a strategy? Like, what were you mentally trying to do in your head when you were solving these? Let's look at this example here. Let me create one. How about 36 a squared minus 64 b squared, right? What were you doing to find these two binomials, right? What were you doing? One strategy you can do is, that I like to do sometimes, is I just take the square root of this and I take the square root of that. And now why will that work? Why will that work? You get here, what do you get? You get 6a and 6a. And what do you get? You get 8b and 8b. And it's a plus and it's a minus. And oh god, that's so small. Let me write that again. It's a 6a plus 8b, 6a minus 8b, and there it is. That will give us the combination once we do the FOIL. So this is a nice little strategy to use to just take the square root, okay? Just a little heads up, if you just want to try and do these real quick, okay? Just so you get the feel of taking like the square root. Pause the video, try and just do these real quick and see what you get. Let's say if you want to see the solutions, the square root of a to the 4th, that's just a squared, because a squared times a squared equals a to the 4th. Remember, when you take the square root, what number times itself twice gives you that original number? It's a squared. What about this one? This will be x to the 5th. Well, because this little thing is called, it's just repeating the because. X to the 5th times x to the 5th, that's equal to x to the 10th, right? You're just adding the exponents. What about this one? Well, let's see. Let's break this. We'll talk about it soon, but 16a to the 4th is the same as square root of 16 times the square root of a to the 4th. Okay? These two are these two are equivalent. So that's just equal to 4 times a squared. Okay? What about this one? This would be 10g to the 8th. And what about this one? a to the 5th. You can't really do it because a to the 5th, oh god, the resolution is really off. Sorry about that. Is that better? Yeah. Okay, better. a to the 5th, you can't take it. There is no number that you multiply itself by itself that gives you a to the 5th, so you can't do it. Right. So that was the first technique. Let's see, so just a little recap. A plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. Okay, this you've seen before. Right. This is just a little warm up. Okay, what I'd like you to do is try and work on these. Oh, whoops. Difference of perfect squares. Okay, just warm up. You know, work on this. However long it takes you, it doesn't matter. Just work on this, and then game plan is you have this polynomial, or you have this, factor this into two. You have to factor. Okay, so what would it be? Pause the video, take your time. Let's say you're coming back to the video and you want to see solutions. This will be x plus 2, x minus 2, right? Here, if you want to do the little technique, take square root, take the square root of this, and what do you get? The square root of 4x squared is 2x plus the square root of 16y squared is 4y. So it's 2x plus 4y, 2x minus 4y. Okay. What about this one? Take the square root of this, take the square root of this. Square root of 36 is 6. Square root of a to the 6 is a to the 3rd. Plus 9b to the 4th, right? So this is 6a cubed minus 9b to the 4th. Right? What about the next one? This will be 1, this will be 10. Oh, wait, oops, let me square root. Right. This will be 10 a to the 5th plus 12 g to the 6th, and then you remember it's always a plus minus. Right? Let me fix the solution. Okie dokie. This will be 12g to the 6. Oh no, wait, my bad. It's a 10a to the 5th minus 12g to the 6th. Okay, it'll be these two. This one was a little challenging, but it's not as bad as it looks. You just take the square root of this whole thing, and you take the square root of this whole thing. And notice, just a little side note, that if you have 121 a to the 6, b to the 10, c to the 12, and you take the square root of this whole thing, right? That's equal to square root of 121 times the square root of a to the 6 times the square root of b to the 10th times the square root of c to the 12th. And square root of 121 is 11, square root of a to the 6 is a cubed, square root of b to the 10 is b to the 5th, and c to the 12 is c to the 6th. And yes, you are dividing by 2, right? Let's just say, just for laughs and giggles, if you had cubic root of a to the 6, you're going to divide by 3. This is equal to a squared. But okay, yeah. And now just do the same thing here. What about square root of 169 x to the 10th, y to the 14th, z to the 16th? Yeah, you just apply the same pattern here. And your final answer should be, well, we have that 11a cubed b to the 5th, c to the 6th, plus, well, the square root of this is what? This is 13, x to the 5th, y to the 7th, and z to the 8th. Okay? And remember, it has to be a plus minus in the same thing. Okay, that's a 13. This is 11a cubed b to the 5th, c to the 6th, minus 13, x to the 5th, y to the 7th, z to the 8th. Whew, okay. Not impossible, but, took you a while. All right. So that was the first part of this lesson. What are we doing? 12 minutes? No, 13 minutes? Okie dokie. I guess, let's just continue. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not going to continue. So that's a short video on this. You see here, just to sum it up again, we had a plus b. The question was, what is a squared minus b squared, right? And we found out that this is equal to a plus b times a minus b. The next video, we're going to try and find out what does this equal? A squared plus b squared. Can we get some sort of like little trick here, some sort of factoring? Okay, that'll be the next question for the next video. Okay, I'll see you.